I got a big debate going on. I don't know if you've seen, but DoorDash has instituted a new policy where they are now going to essentially deprioritize orders that don't come with a tip up front. So if you put your order in and you don't just add in a tip when you put the order in, they are going to deprioritize that. They may deprioritize that, and so your order may take longer because you refused to tip before the order arrived. So you can see the big debate, right? Some people think this is fair. Some people think it's not fair. Isaiah, I want to know from you. What do you think?
I'm not much of a DoorDasher.
Yeah, likewise.
I don't use it ever. But I do know the DoorDashies say that
You're talking about the drivers.
The drivers,
Yeah.
yes. From their perspective, I've heard, I've read that, because some people will say like, oh, I only ordered like $10 worth of food,
Yeah.
$15 worth of food, so I'm only going to tip a couple dollars. Where people who order $50 worth of food is going to tip this much, like you normally would tip, like 20%
Yeah.
of however much you order. But for many DoorDashers, they say that it's just as easy to do a $50 order as is a $10 order, or just as difficult. And so they said it doesn't really matter the amount of food. It's going to be the same amount of time, pretty much the same amount of effort.
Yeah.
And
You're just
so-
grabbing a bag and
Exactly.
driving.
So a lot of people say like it should be a minimum of $5, tip right away, no matter what the order is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think tipping off the rip is better, because if you don't tip at all, then that's just such a waste of time for them.
Yeah.
And some people do that.
Yeah, that's what's tough. I don't want any drivers to get stiffed on tips. But any other place, and you know, delivery driving is different, but every other place you tip after you get the service, once it's performed and you're like, yeah, job well done or whatever. If you get really, people do this, they get really bad service at a restaurant.
Then
And
you don't tip.
Yeah, they don't tip. I guess I don't even know if I love that as your way of lashing out, but at least that makes sense. At least you have a reason. If you get your order, like, it just feels like a self-reinforcing cycle that if you don't tip up front, you're going to get your order, it's going to take longer. Then you're going to be less inclined to tip anyways because you didn't get your food as hot and fresh as you wanted it to be. And so, I don't know. I feel like the tip, what is the purpose of the tip? Is it to incentivize people to do their job well? Or
Is it to do their job in general?
yeah. And then in that case, why don't we just pay them
Yeah, exactly.
properly?
Why are we tipping?
Yeah. And then where does DoorDash come into this as really the middleman?
Because like if your food shows up cold
Mm-hmm.
and you already submitted that $10 tip,
Yeah.
being real generous, like,
Mm-hmm.
then how does that work?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you ask for a refund?
Putting the tip in up front is no guarantee that you're going to get the order. That would be the big slap in the face as a customer.
Can you imagine?
But I also know that oftentimes if your order doesn't come hot and fresh, that's not necessarily a delivery driver's problem.
True.
I've seen all kinds of DoorDash drivers getting all upset at different places because Popeyes isn't cranking out the orders like they should be. So I don't even know. We bring this whole thing up. My answer is I don't know. I don't know if I like it or not.
Maybe the DoorDash should just pay them instead of us doing tips. Wouldn't that make it easier?
Yeah, they're charging us enough anyways.
Wasn't that a great Riot clip? While you're here, you should watch more of our videos and subscribe so you don't miss what we do next.